Last won the Bundesliga title in 2007 under Armin Veh. Back then they picked up 70 points. Last season they picked up 73, but it was only enough for second place. Great challenge by Chabot. His experience in that young back line, along with Maximilian Mittelstädt, will be so important tonight, and that might be why he's on the right side.
Exactly, he's in between Jelč and in between Aldaki. So that's he is organizing everything. And we all know against Openda and Češko already, you can see, will be hard work.
Especially with Stuttgart having a quite high line. That's why you're seeing the early vertical passes from Leipzig when they win the ball. Karatsaw caught there by Vermeeren, who already left one in on Demirovic earlier, so he needs to be careful. Chance to revisit this goal, and to be honest, Stefan, I'll watch this on replay all night long.
No question, but now is the moment for the pundit. The clearance from Češko into the middle, no good, to give Stiller the chance to finish with the first touch.
Gotta say, that little angle we got from outside the stadium towards that goal. What a unique shot that the producers have conjured up for us tonight. It's not just on the pitch that cup games bring out special moments. This already has the feeling of a very special cup night here in Stuttgart. Leipzig, though, have other ideas, but they might be 2-0 down if they're not careful. It's a 4-on-1 situation, but Demirovic had the back line of Leipzig worried.
Yeah, and I think was the wrong decision. No offside, behind Leipzig defense. One touch, and then maybe not the best first touch. With the second you have to finish. Nedeljkovic was there.
Another corner, though, for the home side. That means the scarves are flying once again at the MHP Arena.
Yeah, look at H, the box is space.
Fizzed in by Mittelstädt. Češko again with the header. This time not in a central area.
Perfect clearance this time. But we talk about details. That was the perfect clearance.
At games like this, where, as we said before the match, anything can happen. Fine margins, so decisive. Ooh, that's a hefty challenge in the air, and Lois Openda not for the first time tonight going down, but play goes on. Now the foul by Raum, and Leveling takes exception to it. All of a sudden things flare up a little bit.
Let's have a look. Jelč is earlier in the air, and then of course the contact, and then it's painful for Openda. Jelč is looking for the ball, so I can understand both sides this time.
I think that, for me, was the decisive thing. Jelč had eyes for the ball. Openda only had eyes for Jelč.
I love the reaction, emotions in the game. Think about if you, the Leipzig coach today, you're happy with that contact from Jelč? And I'm sure not. So that's what we want. You know, we have so many fantastic footballers on the pitch, and
I mean, you could argue it's quite dangerous from Openda to try and tabletop Jelč like that when he's prone and vulnerable in the air.
Yeah, but the most important is Jelč looking for the ball, wins the ball, and then his contact there, and Openda knows that Jelč will come. I agree with you. Right decision from the referee. But don't ask Scholt Löw.
Absolutely not. But I mean, look at the reaction from the Stuttgart fans. Again, one of the keys to victory tonight for Leipzig is to try and take the crowd out of the game. Right now, the crowd keeps getting injected back into it by moments like that.
No, that's the home advantage. We spoke about semi-final at home. Big chance to win with that crowd.
a 1-0 win against Augsburg in the last round that saw Stuttgart through. The interesting thing is they've lost all 3 games here at the MHP Arena since that match. But again, league form doesn't count for anything on a night like tonight.
6 games without a win, of course. But I watched the game against Frankfurt. They started well. They created 2 good chances. In the end, they lost 1-0 after a fantastic move and pass and goal from Götze. So overall, they're playing well. I like to watch Stuttgart, still if they're losing 1-0.
Yeah, Sebastian Hoeneß has talked about not being rewarded enough for performances, but did also admit that his side haven't quite been as clever or as clinical as they were at times last season. He said there are certain qualities he feels have fallen away a little bit in the current campaign, and they've now got to work hard to re-establish them. But a positive night like tonight will only help do that. Approaching the half-hour mark.
Yeah, and I think that game is so big, it will influence the last games in the Bundesliga. Can you imagine if you win today, the final game of the season is the cup game in Berlin, and then you have the games in the Bundesliga with confidence, and everyone likes to play in the final. So, it's not allowed to lose.
Round, finding Xavi. Labelling for company, doing a magnificent job on the defensive end. Brown bundled down off the ball. Leipzig having to move it quickly. Voltemada. Stopped in his tracks by Willi Orban. Early ball for Openda. 3 in the middle to aim for. Cut out and cleared by Finn Jeltsch.
And now you can see 5-3-2 without the ball. If Stuttgart have to drop really deep.
Xavi! At full stretch, Nubel. Plucking it out of the air like it was a routine save, but it was anything but.
Again, not the best clearance into the middle, I think was Jeltsch. And then deflected, and Nubel is there.
Saltlöv, a title-winning assistant with Thomas Tuchel. Began his coaching career in the RB School of Thought with their sister club in Austria, Liefering. Moved to Salzburg, then joined up with Leipzig, where he's the assistant coach under Ralf Hasenhüttl and Ralf Rangnick. Then joined up with Tuchel during his time with Paris Saint-Germain, Chelsea and Bayern, winning league titles, Champions Leagues. Most recently, he was working as Leipzig's head of football development, but now thrust into the interim role.
And he will do the same again after that season. I believe that he is honest. Still, if he's winning everything, he will go back to that job. And of course, I think it's the best choice from Marcel Schäfer, what he could do now if you suck Rose.
Xavi. Such a tricky customer in tight spaces, but that's a hack of the heels on Atakan Karazor. A sign maybe of the growing frustration for Leipzig here as we cross the half-hour mark. And
can't watch it all the time. And Stiller scored from the stand.
He enjoyed it as well.
Exactly.
Just like we did. Sebastian Hoeneß.
Yeah, and that goal influencing the game a lot now. You can see both teams are good prepared. Both knows what they have to do. But a wonder shot. And look at Stiller. Wins every 1 against 1. Not a bad start and a wonder goal already. So
I was going to say the goal is great. But if Angelo Stiller's rating his own performance, winning 100% of his challenges is a standout statistic through over half an hour here. It took 5 minutes for the deadlock to be broken. Stuttgart love scoring early in the DFB Pokal this season. In all 5 of their cup games, they've scored before the half-hour mark. Tonight, the 4th time they've done it inside quarter of an hour. But the Leipzig response is brewing right now as Benjamin Šeško lines one up and charged down by Finn Jelč.
Yeah, and Nedeljkovic was on his own on the right side. Still keep passing. Leipzig are on top of the game at the moment. Stuttgart have to defend well against the team. Loves to come back, of course.
Oh, lovely combination of Openda now, and again, Nubel equal to it. Nedeljkovic! Stuttgart producing some last-ditch defending with a cup final berth on the line and a goal advantage early doors. Voltemade sends it long. Demirovic gives chase. Van der Vaart's well off his line. Van der Vaart gets his head to it. That was a wonderful piece of play in the air from the Leipzig goalkeeper.
Yeah. He's taking the risk, but the way. But let's go back to the chance for Openda again. Fantastic football from Leipzig before.
Šeško can't thread the needle. Challenged. And now the foul goes Stuttgart's way again as Karator is again caught. Well, so far, though, it is Alexander Nubel 3, Luis Openda 0.
Exactly, and let's have a look again. Here, of course, is the foul from Seiwald on Karasor. He has a hard job too today with Stiller in the central midfield. But here the football, oh, it was tight, but great passing movement. And then Openda, so far they can't stop him. He's always coming behind the defense. He's looking so dangerous. And here the clearance was a Chabot, I think. Oh.
I was going to say, just when Nubel looked like he might have been beaten.
And Seiwald now on the yellow. Oh, it's an exciting game. Can't wait for the second half already.
That's a nice ball through to Xavi to break the lines again. They've got runners here, Leipzig. Riedler Baku is one of them, but the pass just about gets to him. Riedler Baku tries to find the bottom corner, and he wasn't far away either. Well, now these Leipzig players know they need to produce something special to beat Nubel.
And they're doing really well. Let's be honest. The Stuttgart are defending. They can't come out of that pressure. Leipzig are going forward with everyone. This time Baku. They're looking so dangerous. At the moment, looks like maybe the next chance for Leipzig, they will score.
Voltemade has 2 for company, still wins the header to find Demirovic. Handball appeals, fall on deaf ears. Referee Sven Jablonski doing well, actually, to make sure nothing boils over, because emotions are at play here. This a game you could argue that both clubs' seasons hinge on. Leipzig looking to reach the final for the 5th time in 7 seasons. Stuttgart looking to get back there for the first time since 2012. they took the lead. They had the first 3 shots of the game here tonight, Stuttgart. Leipzig have really come on strong since.
Exactly. 3 chances for Stuttgart after 10 minutes. Afterwards, no chances anymore. And there's only Leipzig creating special moments so far.
Soltlöv said he couldn't wave a magic wand. Now Lois Openda with another chance. This time Nubel not called into action because Chabot did the work for him. There's a bit of a wry smile there on the face of the Belgian, wondering what he's going to have to do tonight to get his 4th goal of the cup campaign this season. He, Voltemade and Šeško all on 3 goals. Patrick Schick, the only player in the DFB Pokal with more goals this season. He's got 4. Of course, no chance for him to add to that tally. Demirin, Xavi. The ball popped up, awkward height. Vinjelch left out a leg, and Leipzig have a free kick that carries a real degree of threat here on the edge of the area.
Yeah, they're coming closer and closer. Yates is a moment too late. We spoke about the defense from Stuttgart. They're looking vulnerable, you have to be honest. Leipzig creating chance after chance. They're coming always moments too late.
And Leipzig have the caliber of players capable of scoring from this type of position, no matter which of the 3 that are stood over the ball you pick to take. Openda leaves it to the 2 specialists.
Yeah, 1 left foot, 1 right foot, Simmons and Raum. So make it difficult for Nübel, who will try to score. For me, Simmons.
David Raum, but it's over the bar.
I think from that position it's more difficult for a left foot. Over the wall and then on target, really difficult.
I think I just mentioned Stuttgart last getting to the final in 2012, but it was, of course, the 2012-13 season. Get our numbers right. 1997, the last time they won the title, Joachim Löw was in charge. Sebastian Hoeneß, fun fact for you, becoming the 2nd Stuttgart head coach after Joachim Löw to reach 2 DFB Pokal semi-finals in his time on the hot seat. Soltlöv, of course, with his last name, was nicknamed Yogi after the World Cup winning Germany head coach.
So I have to go down now. Exciting first half. 8 chances in the game. What a start from Stuttgart. And now is Leipzig coming closer.
This game almost exclusively being played in Stuttgart's half now. They are and have gradually collapsed the lines ever since taking the lead. Forced back as well by the pressure being applied by Leipzig as Šeško just lets his touch get away from him. Now with Raum. Šeško attacks but doesn't get there. Sebastian Hoeneß's side doing what they have to do on a night like tonight, laying it all on the line. Currently enduring his longest winless streak as Stuttgart head coach in the Bundesliga. 6 games, 2 draws, 4 losses since that win against Augsburg in the quarter-finals, just one win. That came in the game that followed against Borussia Dortmund. Xavi momentarily escapes the press. Now with El Shaddai, Bichiabu, Vermeeren and Zeibald both taking opportunities to drop in between the two centre-backs as Xavi brought down by Karazor. Stuttgart without a shot on goal since the 9th minute of this game. Something tells me Sebastian Hoeneß will be calling for more in that department, despite the 1-0 lead, despite the temptation and the instincts that tell you to defend. Hearing that there are going to be 2 minutes of time added on as Xavi clips in the free kick. Orban the target, didn't quite get there. 5 goals to his name this season, none of which have been delivered in the DFB Pokal. And he is one of the main targets for this Leipzig side in those situations. 2 more minutes for Stuttgart to see out a solid first half performance. Started spectacularly. From their perspective, they've had to do a lot of game management since, but Voltemade now finding Demirovic, a rare foray forward now for Stuttgart before the half-time break. Voltemade, 2 for company. Voltemade to the byline, he goes, does well, but there was no one in the right place at the right time to get on the end of the cross, and the offside flag was up anyway. Wasteful from Van der Voort as he looked for the early release. Remarkable trickery again from Nick Voltemade there in tight spaces. Might be cliche to talk about good feet for a big man, but he proves the point. There was a reason he was nicknamed in his youth the 2-meter Messi. Nick Voltemade. Here he is on the ball, looking to turn again. Bonded over momentarily by Orban, who certainly has a physical advantage, even not a height advantage against Voltemade. Well, they were all smiles before the game, Mario Gomez, Jurgen Klopp and Oliver Mintzlaff. Not as we approach half-time. Well, the MHP Arena on its feet with Stuttgart 1-0 up at the break. It started in spectacular fashion thanks to Angelo Stinner's screamer of an opening goal. Stuttgart haven't quite imposed themselves on proceedings since Leipzig have come on strong, just haven't produced the equaliser before the break, and as a result, it is Stuttgart 1, Leipzig 0 at half-time. Well, we knew it was going to be intense, and it has proven as such between two sides that love to play attractive attacking football. Stuttgart started the game on the front foot, really asserted themselves early and took the lead when Angelo Stiller scored a screamer from just outside the box to beat Martin van der Voort. All ends up. Alexander Nubel, though, Van der Voort's counterpart, has made a string of quality saves to keep his side with a narrow 1-0 lead. beauty of the first 45 minutes. Plenty of highlights to get stuck into. I can let you know that the last time that Leipzig won a cup game despite trailing at the break happened to be the final in 2022. Their message from the fans was, the cup belongs to us. Stuttgart, though, had other ideas. And when a corner was only cleared to the edge of the area, Angelo Stiller producing a moment of magic to break the deadlock inside 5 minutes. Van der Voort rooted to the spot as that sweetly struck strike flew right past him. A goal that released all the pre-match emotions that had been building here at the MHP Arena. But the game that developed after the goal scored by Angelo Stiller will have been a stark reminder to both Stuttgart and their home fans that they are still in for quite the slog if they want to book their ticket to the DFB Pokal final for the first time since 2013. Alexander Nubel might have to make more saves of this quality to preserve his clean sheet. Right now, his one-on-one battle with Lois Openda, he's winning all ends up. That save from Xavi's effort was quite spectacular as well. He made it look routine, but it was anything but Alexander Nubel. And now you're seeing the catalogue of chances that Leipzig racked up at the end of the first half. They just couldn't find the breakthrough because Stuttgart doing what Stuttgart have to do tonight, especially with a narrow 1-0 lead. They are going above their limits. The chance at silverware, not lost on either side. Legend, legacy, prestige and the DFB Pokal at stake. Arminia Bielefeld, the third-tier side, await in the final in Berlin on May 24th. Right now, Stuttgart are 1-0 up and 45 minutes removed from joining them there. For now, we'll leave it there for the first half. Join us again shortly for the second.
Stuttgart is leading 1-0 here at their home turf against RB Leipzig. And let's talk about what we have seen so far with our expert Steffen Freund. Well, Stuttgart took the lead, but we can also state that Leipzig had a few chances right before the break. So what do you think about that?
Perfect start from the home side and fantastic goal from Stiller makes the difference so far. But the reaction from Leipzig was outstanding. Created 6 good chances. Openda looks unstoppable. And if Stuttgart can't go forward second half, Leipzig will score. So it's an exciting game to watch. And I think the goal helps at the moment Stuttgart to stay in the game.
You mentioned Angelo Stiller. What a hammer. It reminded me to another VfB legend, Thomas Hitzelsberger.
I remember, yeah, exactly, when they won the league here. Great game. I think it was against Cottbus, I think.
Yeah. Like overall, after the change of coach and the change of system, RB Leipzig, how do you see them? Do you see some improvement?
Yes, the goal came after, I think, not a good clearance from Šeško, and then, of course, a fantastic first touch from Stiller. Overall, Leipzig are the better side, creating more chances, pass the ball, going forward, take a lot of risk, and Openda looks so far unstoppable. You have to score now, I think.
And what do you think for the second half? What should Sebastian Hoeneß change, maybe? What are the words he has to say to his players now?
When they drop deep, they play 5-3-2, still with the 2 strikers. Maybe 1 striker have to come back, or maybe with 4 midfielders, because Leipzig are looking really good in possession.
Thank you so much, Steffen. So let's see what Leipzig is up for at the second half.
The dream is so close, you can almost touch it.
What a pass, what a goal!
The DFB Pokal final on May the 24th.
The greatest football players, the biggest moments.
Just one more step to the Olympiastadion, one more victory to Berlin.
One of the biggest games in European football.
Leverkusen, Stuttgart and Leipzig know what it feels like to lift the trophy.
It's their year, it's their night, it's their trophy.
And underdogs Bielefeld want to make the final for the first time. 4 semi-finalists competing for a ticket to greatness. Goals are dreams with deadlines. These emotions are simply indescribable. Triumph and glory.
A season beyond their wildest dreams.
Everyone in Leverkusen wants to experience it again.
Bayern Leverkusen at the DFB Pokal. Xabi Alonso has delivered again.
The Vexelf also won the cup in 1993, but Bayer have never before defended their crown. This season, Leverkusen and Xabi Alonso want to rewrite the DFB Pokal history books. Arminia Bielefeld are dreaming of a first DFB Pokal final in the club's history.
The third-tier side have done it.
3 times they've reached the semi-finals. 3 times they've come so close. But 3 times, Bielefeld's hearts have been broken. This season, the 3rd division side are on a roll.
Bielefeld will represent the Dritte Liga in the 3rd round.
They've just beaten the finalists of 2022.
Arminia Bielefeld will make it through to the semi-finals.
Into the semi-finals once more. This time things will be different, because when you dream big, you can achieve anything. VfB Stuttgart are longing for this trophy. 2 years ago, they were knocked out in the semi-final by Frankfurt.
The end of the road for Stuttgart. This really hurts.
Last year, they were knocked out in an exhilarating game against the eventual winners Leverkusen.
And they're back in front, Stuttgart. And the cup tie level again. Oh, what a cross to Jonathan Tah! Heartbreak for Stuttgart.
Only their older fans know what it feels like to be cup winners. The last time Stuttgart lifted the trophy into the Berlin night sky was in 1997. So, it's about time. This goal has a deadline. A team built to win this cup.
Leipzig complete the semi-final lineup in the DFB Pokal this season.
RB Leipzig have reached the final 3 times in the last 5 years. Twice they've won the competition. In 2022.
RB Leipzig win their first ever DFB Pokal.
And 2023.
The DFB Pokal still belongs to RB Leipzig. Cup glory once again in Berlin for Die Roten Bullen.
Last year, there was an uncharacteristic early exit in round 2.
The 2-time defending title winners Leipzig are knocked out of the DFB Pokal.
Leipzig want to return to the throne. It's just one win. 90 minutes. Or 120, maybe even a penalty shootout. But this dream is worth all the pain, all the pressure, all the suffering. This goal is a dream with a deadline. May the 24th is the day, the DFB Pokal final in Berlin.
And welcome back to the MHP Arena in Stuttgart. We're listening to Last Resort, and for both of these teams, this is the last resort when it comes to the potential of winning silverware this season in Germany's Solkop competition. Stuttgart looking to get back to the final for the first time since 2013. Leipzig looking to make it 5 finals in the last 7 seasons, but it's Stuttgart who lead by a goal as we get the second half underway. Well, the home side tonight haven't conceded a goal in the cup in the second half of games all season. That needs to change if Leipzig are to complete the comeback here. All the pressure at the end of the first half was the way of the visitors. After their spectacular start, Stuttgart got forced deeper and deeper and deeper. But thanks to Alexander Nubel, they are still 1-0 in front as we enter the second half. James Surrogate, your match commentator, delighted to have the pleasure of your company as well as that of my co-commentator. 45 minutes, we enjoyed a lot, Stefan Freund. There's another 45 minutes to come, maybe even more, and we're going to enjoy them just as much.
Exactly. Of course, a fantastic goal from Stiller gives Stuttgart a lift and a great start in the game, but then afterwards, only Leipzig created 6 good goal-scoring opportunities. They came so close to score the equalizer, and a good football game to watch. Both teams are in the game and play with a lot of intensity.
Well cut out at the back by Jamie Levering, who has had to do a fair bit of defending. The right winger for Stuttgart tonight. And they are all pushing above their limits and meeting the demands of this game so far. Jolt Löw there. First game in charge as Leipzig's interim head coach. Not going according to plan, but something tells me he'll have found positive words during his half-time team talk, because there was a lot to like about his side's performance, and on another occasion, Lois Openda maybe scores one of his 3 chances against Nubel.
Exactly. So Leipzig performance are really good, great reaction to be 1-0 down after wonder shot from Stiller, and they created chance after chance. So what can you do more as a coach? To go to Stuttgart, create 6 good chances, you have to score, that's it.
Openda on the run again. Good foot race, but the danger dealt with by Amin Al-Dakil, who had that moment to forget in the 1-0 loss to Frankfurt on the weekend when his rugby tackle on Ugo Ekitike saw him sent off with a straight red for a last-man challenge for the denial of a clear and obvious goal-scoring opportunity. There were no arguments against the decision.
And of course only suspended for the Bundesliga. He can play in cup games and is doing well so far. It's difficult for all the centre halves today against Šeško, here 1-against-1, and Openda's pace.
Yeah, one of these subplots for tonight's game was the tale of strikers Voltemada, Demirovic against Šeško and Openda. Then Demirovic and Voltemada are the side in front, but it's Šeško and Openda who are certainly making the bigger impact on the game. They're having more chances. Xavi stays down after a challenge just outside the area. Plenty of the Leipzig players going through the walls a little bit tonight, but then Stuttgart haven't escaped that fate either. Stuttgart with just 1 goal conceded in the cup this season. That came courtesy of a penalty against Kaiserslautern. 2-1 win in the second round after a 5-0 win against Preußen Münster, another second-tier side. The round of 16, Jan Regensburg, it was a 3-0 win for Stuttgart, and then finally they faced Bundesliga opposition in the quarterfinals. Dennis Undav scoring the only goal of the game against Augsburg. Leipzig's story has been a little bit different because they have faced top-tier opposition in each of the last 3 rounds. They knocked out St. Pauli in the second round, Frankfurt in the round of 16, and in the previous round it was a sole goal from Benjamin Šeško that booked their ticket to the semi-finals at Wolfsburg's expense. Delkovic, nice idea with the first touch. Mittelstädt read it well though.
And I think now is the right moment to say something tactically. Leveling normally is a right attacking winger, but David Raum likes to go forward as a left winger, so Leveling have to go back all the way. So that gives Jelč the possibility to drop into a center-half position and to create it 3 against 2, Šeško and Openda.
Leveling looking for the 1-2. Karantor on the stretch, can't provide the return pass. The minute Leipzig win the ball back, the intent is clear, get it forward as quickly as possible. They are trying to stretch this Stuttgart side. Side to side and back to front. Nedeljkovic to Baku.
And there's another example. Nedeljkovic going forward on the right side like a striker, and Baku drops into the central midfield. So they're really flexible, and that's why Stuttgart is under pressure already. So they're dropping deep with the back 5 because the fullbacks, Raum and Nedeljkovic, go high up the pitch.
Nick Woltemade, the change in the Stuttgart lineup tonight, hasn't quite had as many touches as he'd have wanted. He's only won 33% of his challenges, but at least he's getting stuck into those challenges. It's a very difficult job he's got tonight, trying to hold up the ball against Willi Orban. Now Openda trying to turn the corner. The foot race, so the Belgian had the beating there of Chabot, but what a challenge.
Important tackling and touch, I think. And you could see Openda's pace. Yeah, there's the contact with the ball and also with Openda, but right decision.
Only the second corner of the game for Leipzig, but it's from that particular corner that Stuttgart's goal came from. David Raum to deliver. Chiabu. Foul goes against Riedler Baku. Signed from Wolfsburg in the winter break.
Yeah. No contact with the ball, using the body. That's why Scholt-Löw is not happy. He thinks wasn't a foul.
Mio can't quite ghost between two. Openda wants the foul. Šeško wants the goal. Šeško now trying to turn on the afterburners, and it's another tidy challenge this time from the young 18-year-old signed from Nuremberg in the winter, Finn Jelč. Demirovic one-on-one with Bichiabu. Demirovic wants a handball, so does the MHP Stadion, but it is
no.
Mio who then strikes wide. Jablonski, the referee.
So no offside. And there's a short distance, my reaction straight away. And the arm is next to his body from Orban, contact there, but no penalty. Right decision. And there's the monster tackling from Jelč. If not, Šeško's in.
Pictures that just underline how hard fought this game is right now. Stuttgart have the lead, but they haven't had a shot on goal since the 9th minute. Mittelstädt, Woltemade! Keeping the chance alive, Nick Woltemade. Mittelstädt goes down. A wag of the finger from the referee. Riedler Baku wags his finger too. Just under 10 minutes played in this second half.
But a great cross from Mittelstädt. Let's have a look. The contact from Baku there. The contact is there, but not enough. For me, again, the right decision. Because he's looking for the ball, and then he's going down. Mittelstädt, a little bit too easy for me. Not every contact is a penalty. What do you think, James?
I'll be honest, that's a tough one to call, but I think the on-field decision will stand. Because
so let's have a look.
There's contact with ball and player. It is a 50-50.
For me, Mittelstädt, of course, likes to be first on the ball, but likes to go down straight away. And that's, I think, why is the right decision, no penalty.
And that on-field decision from Sven Jablonski stands, doesn't have to take another look at the monitor. What we do have now is a corner for Stuttgart. Demirovic with their first shot on goal since the 9th minute.
Yeah, look at Leipzig are defending in the zone. So edge the box. Options.
Not a great corner from Maxi Mittelstädt. It's during Euro 2024 that if you travelled through Berlin, you would see many a train stop that had the fact underneath it, home of Maximilian Mittelstädt. Because of course he was part of the German national team at the Euros. Impressed in the recent international break as well, it has to be said.
Yeah, it improved a lot here in Stuttgart. It wasn't good enough for Hertha Berlin. And now he's one of the best left backs. Great improvement.
Caught the eye in the second leg against Italy as Germany booked their ticket to the Nations League Final Four. Voltemada, 1-2, Voltemada! 4 goals in 4 games in the DFB Pokal. But before the hour mark, the home side have doubled their advantage. And it is another small step towards Berlin, delivered by their main man, Nick Voltemada.
See the reaction of the supporters, of course. What a fantastic start in the second half. Overall, I'm a little bit surprised, but I think Sebastian Hoeneß said definitely at halftime, we have to go forward, we have to start to put Leipzig defense a little bit more under pressure. But look at the football, how they play. It is Voltemada again, 1-2 with Demirovic, and a great pass from Demirovic back. Oh, fantastic final pass, and in between the legs from Bichabu. So everything comes together against Leipzig at the moment.
They call him Nick Voltemada. They call him Nick Wundermada. The fact is, it doesn't matter how many nicknames he's given. He has found a real home for himself here in Stuttgart. The potential he once had and was once seen at Werder Bremen is now being unlocked by Sebastian Hoeneß. And if that doesn't sum up Nick Voltemada, he misses the wide-open header, but he scores the harder chance with the ball at his feet.
And we spoke about the start of the second half, and we spoke about before the game. Sebastian Hoeneß thinks, can we play with 2 strikers? And yes, he can. And the second goal came with a fantastic 1-2 in between the 2 strikers.
Well, if one of the big talking points from the first half was the way in which Voltemada had been taken out of the game, in this second half, the story has changed. His impact has been made. He's on the score sheet to make it 2-0. And these Stuttgart fans now sense the chance at their first final since 2013 at the DFB Pokal. And some will even start dreaming of a first title win since 1997. Leipzig need to conjure up something as Baku, looking for the top corner, went for placement over power. Nubel concerned, but not tested.
Half a chance, but again, good reaction. Vertical passes, Openda can keep the ball. Baku have to be on target. That's the way back for Leipzig. Play the pass to Openda or maybe Šeško, and from there, you're in the final third and you create chances. Definitely contact on Orban's chin. Moment too late, Demirovic painful. Hopefully Orban can play on. Yes, he can.
Just looking at the goal again, that reverse pass from Demirovic, it takes Orban and Bichabu out of the game entirely.
Yeah, and of course, Bichabu is there, but in between the legs is always disappointing for a defender. First, great football from Stuttgart, that's the most important.
Nubel off his line.
So 60 minutes played, and for the supporters at home, for me, it's still an open game because Leipzig creating chances, they're going forward, they believe they can come back, and the key will be, of course, the next goal.
Šeško can't deliver there. David Raum, pocket of space, David Raum. That looked goal-bound, were it not for the intervention of Jeff Chabot. Oh, but now Leipzig have a lifeline, courtesy of their cup hero, Benjamin Šeško. The next goal crucial, Leipzig have got it.
Of course, sorry, don't take me wrong. Raum is in the box, look at how many players, 8 players in the box. Second ball, oh, not the best clearance, I think it was Karasor. And then a fantastic chip ball behind Stuttgart's defense, and a fantastic finish from Šeško in between the legs from Nubel.
Karasor knows it as well.
Yeah.
You criticised the clearance from Šeško in the first half that led to the Stiller goal. And now Šeško the beneficiary of a poor clearance from Karasor.
Yeah, and we speak about details in football. In big games like that, small things makes the difference, and of course Karasor is not happy with that clearance. He's still playing well, don't take me wrong, but you don't like to be involved in goals for the opponent.
Self-inflicted wounds are never particularly pleasant. And from the ecstasy and euphoria of having a 2-0 lead, all of a sudden, just past the hour mark, a goal back from Leipzig. A moment just to give these home fans pause for thought. This is the cup, anything can happen. We said it before the start of the game, and it still reigns true now.
Yeah, and if you watch the whole game, Leipzig deserved to score a goal. And maybe they, I'm not saying they will win the game now, but that goal, I think, gives them more belief, and oh, we have exciting 30 minutes to go.
Nedeljkovic. Is it a goal that also shifts the momentum back firmly in Leipzig's favour? I can tell you it's a goal that ends a run of 580 minutes without scoring on foreign soil in all competitions. Šeško now attacks, looking for Luis Openda. It was a lovely idea, it didn't quite come off. Openda, though, not giving up on the chance. Nico Seibald sees his shot charged down. Xavi can't quite keep it alive.
We can't stop to talk because so many good movements, good football, and of course Leipzig will try everything now.
Improvised effort, and well, it's gone behind for a goal kick. Not dug out there by David Raum. A shot there of the Stuttgart fans, and they are not as comfortable. Neither is that man, Sebastian Hoeneß. Sold-out crowd of 60,000 here in the MHP Arena. They were expectant.
Of course.
You talk to anyone in the city today, all they could talk about was, we saw what Bielefeld did yesterday, now we want to meet them in Berlin. One of the greatest cup upsets the DFB Pokal has ever seen, as the third-tier side knocks out the reigning title holders Leverkusen, and not with a lucky punch, but with a deserved win. The opportunity at silverware, not lost on Stuttgart and Leipzig. That's why the intensity levels are not going to drop. And 90 minutes might not be enough to decide it tonight. Nedeljkovic. Zijveld. Šeško and Openda in the middle, and the cross all the way through to Alexander Nubel from the Austrian international.
Leipzig are doing well, they're going forward. Stuttgart are dropping deeper and deeper. That's dangerous. We know from the first half they're creating chances. And of course, oh, look at that, the statistic. 15 shots for Leipzig. We spoke about chances, possession. They're on top of the game, but still 2-1 down, and that comes down to the quality in front of the goal from Stuttgart. They don't need a lot of chances.
And that's it. If you covered up the scoreline and you saw those statistics, you'd assume that the away team was winning. But football doesn't work that way.
No, and of course I would take the Stuttgart team so far, because they're 2-1 up, and they still think if they have to score, maybe they can score again. Now they're 2-1 up and they're dropping a little bit too deep.
Lovely run from Raum. Edge of the area. Riedler Baku comes to Vermeeren. Thought better of the shot. Xavi is always rising. More than capable of scoring in those types of situations.
Yeah, the question at home for the supporters is why Stuttgart come out second half, goes forward, creating 2 chances, score a goal, and now they're only defending. That's exactly football. You like to go forward, you like to score, you think it's done the job, and then of course Leipzig will react and they will press high, they will go forward, they increase the risk, and then Stuttgart have to defend.
Šeško joining Patrick Schick and Nick Voltemade on 4 goals at the top of the scoring charts in the DFB Pokal. Got an incredible record in this competition, 6 goals in 6 appearances for the Slovenian.
Yeah, Openda's offside. And now Baumgartner is coming.
He was the man dropped out of the starting lineup. Or one of the 3 changes, I should say, to the Leipzig first 11.
Yeah, it will be interesting now who's coming off.
Mio just lost out to Nedeljkovic. Karator takes no chances in midfield.
So it will be interesting. Baumgartner can play Baku's position, maybe, if he's still playing with the same system with the 2 strikers up front. If he's changing a striker, looks like a defensive move, will be interesting.
Especially given the way Riedler Baku keeps drifting infield, especially. Yeah. I also wonder whether there might be a temptation to take off Nedeljkovic, shift Baku to right back.
That's another option, exactly.
And bring on Baumgartner. Let's see. That is indeed.
You're right.
Costa Nedeljkovic, the man on loan from Aston Villa, made his first start as a Leipzig player tonight, and that will indeed see Riedler Baku shift to right back. He's getting a quick talking to from Short-Löw here on the sideline, saying, yep, right back in a 4-man back line, please. And Christoph Baumgartner will now be the more advanced man.
And then is an offensive move, because Baumgartner is more an attacking player than Baku, and Baku is more an attacking player than Nedeljkovic as a right back. So, for me, clever move.
And the type of risk that Leipzig have to take now, with time against them, just over 20 minutes of normal time remaining, a goal down. Angelo Stiller opened the scoring in spectacular fashion. Nick Woltemade doubled Stuttgart's lead with his 4th goal of this cup campaign, and that was then cut short, the 2-goal advantage, when Šeško joined him on 4 goals. Now Baku, first-time cross, blocked by Mittelstädt.
Oh, that's so exciting. Already 70 minutes play, and every second, maybe, both sides can score. It looks like more Leipzig at the moment.
Incidentally, these sides met on match day 17 here at the MHP Arena. On that occasion, final score, Stuttgart 2, Leipzig 1. Oh, the difference was Leipzig took the lead and Stuttgart came from behind to win that very hard-fought match. Tonight, it's Leipzig who need the comeback qualities. Xavi and Raum over the free kick again. The element of danger right now inescapable for Stuttgart. Raum fizzes it in and cleared at the near post. The man who committed the foul in the first place, Maximilian Mittelstädt, said that the home fans here could make the difference. Might not be in the way he thought, but the crowd is needed here because their side are in for a real fight. They've got their backs against the wall a little bit despite having a 2-1 lead. But now maybe, in transition, Woltemade wants it back post. Drifted in, Woltemade tried to bring it down on his chest. Mio takes charge. Settles with a corner.
And that's really important for Stuttgart. Have moments that you can go forward. And at this time, leveling 1-against-1 against Raum, wins the ball, and then you in transition, and then you create chances or corners, set pieces. And that's the way to keep the result, or maybe you can score another one. Don't drop too deep.
Well, the Kahnstadter Kurve behind Van der Bort's goal is quite the sight to behold right now. As Angelo Stiller set to take the corner. Met by Woltemade! It's in!
Oh.
Surely it's over the line! Stuttgart have their 2-goal lead restored. I'm not sure who'll get the credit, but it doesn't matter. Leipzig pegged them back, but Stuttgart find the response once again.
And of course, that's the moment to say set pieces. We spoke about moments to go forward, and then still a delivery. Orban is still on the ground. Hopefully he's fine, but Woltemade on his own in the air. Let's have a look. He is close to Orban, but he's on top. Oh, is it maybe offside from Leveling? Leveling will be interesting.
Oh, this is going to be a bit of a complicated call, I reckon.
Yeah, exactly.
In the end. But for now, the Kahnstadter Kurve in wild celebrations.
The ball was over the line, we can see here.
Yeah, that's the part we don't need to debate.
But that's the key, is Leveling involved?
And
yes.
It's not from the Karatol pass, it's from the Woltemade header.
Yeah, exactly. From that moment, maybe he was involved in an offside position. But let's wait. For that, we have the VAR and the referees. It's a tight decision, definitely.
We've been talking about fine margins all evening. Few might be finer than this. The video assistant tonight, Sören Storks, backed up by Christian Fischer. I mean, we're talking millimeters here, Stefan.
Exactly. I think it is Seiwald on the same level, I think. Can be a goal.
This is one of those moments.
It's so tight here.
The fans of calibrated lines.
Yeah.
They are going to have to be drawn here. I can tell you, the emotions etched on the faces of the Stuttgart fans around us.
Is a goal.
The goal stands! Stuttgart are 3-1 ahead and just under quarter of an hour removed.
Yeah, and it was Seiwald, same position, no offside, and Woltemade wins the header.
From the anonymous man in the first half, Woltemade now, the star player in the second, he's through on goal! Nick Woltemade is off the bar! Oh, it would have been glorious! But the offside flag would have denied him anyway.
Okay. Oh, I can't breathe anymore. And yes, this time, it is Raum, and I think it was an offside position. But look at now how good he is 1 against 1. David Raum can't stop him.
Fabian Rieder and Leonidas Statue coming on. It is Mio and Leveling coming off. And it's Jamie Leveling who has got the third.
Yes. Maybe he's behind the line.
And now Stuttgart can breathe a little bit easier once again.
This for me still too early. Leipzig is in the game. If they score the second, latest 90th minute, they can score the second one in injury time.
Oh, I'm right there with you, Stefan.
Many times I have that experience. Not many times, but I know that's possible. And Leipzig are playing well, you have to be honest.
Baumgartner. Squeeze through to David Raum. Baumgartner! Stefan's right, this game is far from over.
Yeah,
Cup nights like this can be special.
Definitely, don't go on the toilet. Sit down and watch.
Raum's corners goes low. We'll get another bite at the apple here. This time it goes high. Emedin Demirovic today exercising some personal demons against Leipzig as the man whose penalty miss once handed them their first ever DFB Pokal title in 2024 when he competed in Berlin with Freiburg. Before tonight, he was the only Stuttgart player to have featured in a DFB Pokal final. They are just over 12 minutes removed from the whole team making it there. Scholt-Löw shown a yellow card. He's been animated and vocal on the sidelines all game. He's making a change now as well, or is set to. Tidiam Gomis stripped off and getting ready to enter the fray, which suggests there might be another attacking change here as Baumgartner gets the ball from Šeško. They're on the run here. Baumgartner strike deflected. Just wide of Newell's goal. But a corner. Quickly put on the corner spot by the Leipzig substitutes behind Newell's goal. Time is of the essence. Every second counts now for the visitors. Raum needs a better delivery from this corner. It is better, but it's Nick Woltemade with the header. And Xavi's first-time volley doesn't quite match what Stiller produced from that similar position in the first half. And now Rieder, the fresh legs, gives chase, but doesn't get there.
And Simmons goes back to win that ball. Yeah, overall, really good attitude from every Leipzig player. Don't take me wrong, they're 3-1 down. And then in the end, they deserve to lose, but they're trying everything. They're going forward, creating chances, they're working hard. Be more clever in front of the goal.
And just to go back to that quote I mentioned from Sebastian Hoeneß, where he admitted that at times this season his side haven't been as clever or as clinical as they were last season. Tonight, that hasn't been a problem.
Yes, definitely.
He drew up a fantastic game plan against his former Hoffenheim teammate, Scholt-Löw, a man who they worked together on the books while Hoeneß was a youth coach with Leipzig. Scholt-Löw was working as the assistant under Hasenhüttl, and Rangnick. They are two players and now coaches very familiar with each other. Reunited on the sidelines as Baku gets brought off, but there seems to be an ingress going on the Leipzig bench. Baku is clearly not happy with coming off, as he's replaced by Gomis.
Of course he's not. No player is happy.
The discussion seemed a little out of the ordinary there.
No, but now you have to take a risk. They're 2 goals down, and then you took off a fullback. That's how it is in football, and you bring an attacking winger this time with Gomis, and that's how it is.
Well worked to Rieder. Oh, cross. Left a lot to be desired. A little bit of a rush of blood there to the head for the Swiss international Fabian Rieder.
So exactly, Gomis is playing as a right winger, like a striker, and without a fullback on the right side, Leipzig now.
Vermeeren to Raum. Gomis has now wandered all the way to that left flank. Here he is picking up the pass from Raum. Perhaps that was the message from Scholt-Löw, that he had more freedom than you'd maybe expect. Cross, Šeško puts his head to the ball, but no purchase on the effort. Here we get the best view of whether... I mean, that you're talking about elbows, kneecaps, heels.
Yeah, I think it's a Seiwald. And Leveling was an offside. Fine, that's how it is. The rules are there.
And on nights like tonight, as a Stuttgart side, you needed those moments to go in your favour. And more often than not, those fine margins have gone Stuttgart's way. Whether it be Alexander Nubel's saves, whether it be moments like that at the other end, fine margins in terms of offside decisions.
Yeah, and Leipzig came really close first half to score. Overall, is of course our job to bring the understanding home what's going on. So Leipzig down 1-0. They're going forward. They create chances. They have to score the equalizer. They didn't. Half-time. Chance for Hoeneß. Go out. Go forward. We need another goal. They're so good. They will score. So they scored a second. And then, of course, good reaction again from Leipzig, because they're in the game and they do a good job. Still needing too many chances. And don't forget, 2 goals advantage is always a little bit dangerous if Leipzig scores the next one.
I didn't want to interrupt you there either, but not for the first time tonight. We've got a shot there of Jurgen Klopp in the stands. Of course, he's one of the big decision makers now with RB Leipzig. But does his presence, I mean, we've seen the fans have all been taking selfies with him tonight. He's been a real attraction. But is he a detraction for any incoming head coach in Leipzig? His presence behind the scenes.
I think it's still Oliver Minzlaff on top of everyone. So he took Klopp, he took Rose, and he said in the beginning of the season, we are always, if we have the chance to win silverware, we are not there. So put from the first day on Rose under pressure. That's how it is. Klopp, of course, is one of the best coaches in the world, but it is his decision to come not back as a coach. And I still believe that he doesn't like to come back as a coach.
Sven Jablonski has clearly seen something he doesn't like. As Leipzig get ready to whip in another set-piece situation. So 2 young centre-backs, El Shaddai Bichiabu and Amin El Dakil getting a talking to. Dakil's got to watch himself. Is that Bichiabu who's gone down? Nubel with a commanding piece of goalkeeping. And a few precious seconds taken off the clock, much to the delight of the MHP Arena, not to the delight of that man, Scholt Löw. Can you at least tonight, Stefan, point to an improvement in the Leipzig performance from recent results, which cost Marco Rose his job as head coach?
If you come down to the result, no. You're losing 1-0 at Mönchengladbach. Today you lose 3-1. Of course, as a former coach, I can see Leipzig are playing with their heart. They're playing with lots of intensity. Every player is involved. Every player likes to do the job. And I think that's a little bit different to the last games, the up and downs. And of course, when you lose, it's difficult to think positive, especially in a massive cup game like this. But if you travel to Stuttgart, you know it will be a difficult game. And I still believe, if I'm watching on my paperwork, Leipzig created more chances than Stuttgart. And then you have to use the opportunities. That's the difference. Or you would say they don't have a Voltemade.
Gomes round the corner for Baumgartner. Fizzed in, Šeško! Off the bar, oof! And now off the face of Amin. Oh no, it's Finn Jeltsch, excuse me.
Yeah.
I mean, he took that one full in the face, the youngster. The initial effort from Šeško, brilliant to hit the bar.
And great cross from Baumgartner, and of course great defending from Jeltsch to put your head into the way of Openda's shot. Boah, great block. You have to be honest, that's painful.
Oh, that'll bring a tear to an eye. But it'll all be worth it.
Yeah. And I think could be on target, the shot from Openda.
Well, that's it, and you're talking about if Leipzig get a goal back at 3-2 with a couple of minutes of normal time remaining and a bit of extra time. The bit of cup magic that Leipzig have been looking for might have been conjured up.
Yeah, and what an opportunity now, a double opportunity. So if they score now, they're back in the game. And I'm not saying, oh, maybe it's a good point, they deserve to score another goal. And Jeltsch is fine. I love defending like this. Put your head in, block the shot, don't go down. Oh.
I go back to the quote from Nürnberg head coach Miroslav Klose, who, when losing his talented young defender, didn't complain in the press, but said, no, we're really delighted for him. He deserves the chance to take the next step. And now he's been thrust into the deep end by Stuttgart. But my goodness, is he acquitting himself well.
Yeah, they saw him at Under-17 World Cup. Maybe the best defender in the World Cup and with leadership qualities. Now, Chabot is leading the defense. He looks really good now for his age. 18 years old, will grow. And maybe in 2-3 years, don't take me wrong, don't listen at home, he can play for Germany again.
Oh, what a ball for Xavi. Went down into the area, apoplectic about not getting the decision to go his way. Questions are, could this be a penalty? No, the contact's outside the area.
Is outside the area. Can't be a penalty. There's the contact, and I think it is definitely a foul. This time, Chabot is lucky, and Stuttgart is lucky he wasn't in the box. Because the VAR can't be involved.
Gomes. Yeah, had to be in the area if the VAR wanted to impact that particular moment. Now the Stuttgart fans in front of us waving their team forward, trying to push out from the back. They don't want them just absorbing pressure in the final stages here. Seiwald, oh, what a first touch that is. Orban to Vermeeren. They're lining up in the middle, but Vermeeren didn't provide the cross. Demirovic now gives the ball away a little too cheaply. Stuttgart minutes removed from their first DFB Pokal final since 2013. Bielefeld await. 5 minutes of time added on. The celebrations start here at the MHP Arena as Raum's free kick comes in and Karator with a really important defensive header at the back. Pumped long, and look at the chance now for Stuttgart and Fabian Rieder. He's all alone, it's a solo mission. Foul goes Stuttgart's way. And a decision from the referee that celebrated almost like a goal here.
I think Rieder could score. Let's have a look. Is it a foul? I'm not sure, because both are going for the ball, and I wouldn't give a free kick. But the chance before for Rieder was there to chip the ball over Van der Voort.
Just didn't quite have the overview at the vital moment, and then the instinct to take time off the clock kicked in.
Yeah, exactly.
I think if this wasn't a cup game, this was a league game, Rieder probably would have been going for goal there.
Yeah, maybe, good point.
We talk about Stuttgart's final opponents, Bielefeld. Those two sides met as recently as October 2022 in the DFB Pokal. Back then, they were 6-0 winners, but now listen to this crowd. Berlin,
Berlin. We go to Berlin. I will go tomorrow to Berlin. Then we come to the final.
The 24th of May. Now the biggest date on the Stuttgart calendar this season. They have had so many highlight moments this campaign. They finished second in the Bundesliga with a record-breaking season. It delivered them back into the Champions League, where they had highlight matches against Real Madrid, against Paris Saint-Germain, the win in Turin against Juventus. And now they're heading to the DFB Pokal final for the first time in over a decade, and the chance to win the title for the first time since 1997 will never be greater for this Stuttgart side.
What a moment, but still chances.
Raum's corner headed clear. They are going to defend to the last here. The Cannstatter Kurve ready to erupt. We saw the power of the Bielefeld Alm yesterday in their famous cup win. And now we see the power of the MHP Arena, channeled by Stuttgart and Maximilian Mittelstädt. He said they could make the difference. They have played their part tonight.
Yeah, and we spoke about home advantage in cup games. Can be massive. And I think that helped a lot. Leipzig played well, created chances with the support, and be always in the lead, I think, was really important for Stuttgart today.
It's always going to be a very difficult task for Leipzig and Schottler, fresh off the back of Marco Rose's sacking, to bounce back and do what needed to be done tonight to reach what would have been a 5th cup final in 7 seasons. Unfortunately, it was not to be. Wir holen den Pokal. We'll collect the cup. That's the chant from the home fans.
Yeah, they are the favorites now against third division team Bielefeld. After their win against Leverkusen yesterday, can be a really tight game. Trust me, they have a fantastic attitude and they have nothing to lose.
Last season, it was Kaiserslautern representing the lower tiers in the DFB Pokal final. They lost 1-0 to Leverkusen. This season it's Bielefeld, having knocked out the title holders, who will now meet Stuttgart in Berlin on May 24th. A magical moment for the home side as they're back in the DFB Pokal final for the first time in over a decade. And up against the third-tier side, Arminia Bielefeld, they will believe that their chances of a first title since 1997 might just be possible, because the dream lives on for Stuttgart, that this frustrating season could still have a glittering end.
And congratulations, from my point, to Stuttgart. They've been too clinical in front of the goal, creating chances, not so many, 6 overall, and 2 and 3 goals, 50%. And Leipzig, 10 chances, scored only 1 goal. That was the difference. A great cup game to watch, and of course, all the players in tears. Both sides, I think, because Leipzig worked their socks off, they tried everything, and Stuttgart used their home advantage and got Woltemade and Nübel. Two men of the match. Is that okay for you?
Absolutely, without question. Mittelstädt was quite good as well.
Yeah.
The Berlin native is going home to potentially secure silverware on home turf as a Stuttgart player. He said he has a lot of special memories at the Olympiastadion.
Yeah.
Something tells me he's going to make another one on May 24th. But for Stuttgart, this really is the good times have returned under Sebastian Hoeneß. The Cannstatter Kurve rises for its heroes, of which there were many tonight.
And respect to the supporters. 6 games without a win in the Bundesliga. And they've been behind the team. They tried everything to support them in downs in the game. Don't forget, second half, or not second half of the first half, Leipzig was on top.
Oh, these celebrations will go long into the night. Yes,
yeah.
We saw the emotions in Bielefeld yesterday. As a third-tier side, it meant a lot to them, but it means no less to these Stuttgart fans. After years of not winning titles, having been one of the giants of German football, they fell on hard times, but now they are back under Sebastian Hoeneß, and they might be back to title-winning form as well.
Yeah, can you imagine? What a fantastic game today, under pressure. Leipzig under pressure too. And of course, it was a really tight game, you have to be honest. Leipzig got their moments.
They did have their moments. And unfortunately, their turbulent season just got a little bit more turbulent when they were hoping that Löw could come in and steady the ship somewhat. But unfortunately, tonight, the emotions at play were always against his side. Mario Gomez, he scored a brace when Bayern beat Stuttgart in their last appearance in the DFB Pokal final back in 2013. Now he's just seen his Leipzig side get knocked out by one of his former clubs as well.
And of course, Mittelstädt likes to go back to Berlin for a cup final. So a dream comes true for him. And the Leipzig players are with the supporters. I think I have to mention something positive today. With that attitude, they have a chance to finish top 4 if they're using their goal-scoring opportunities. I think the performance overall was good to watch. I think a good performance overall. And
is a top 4 finish enough to save their season, Stefan?
At the moment, yes. I think, of course, today they will be down. But if they can finish top 4, then you play in the Champions League. Ask Dortmund, ask Stuttgart. They think about that too, because big clubs need the money, and Dortmund, Leipzig are 2 big clubs, they need the money. Stuttgart, I think for them, it's still good to stay in Europe, and with a win against Bielefeld there in the Europa League, that's not bad.
That's it. If they miss out in terms of league position,
Yes.
the avenue to Europe goes through the DFB Pokal. Their growth has been organic. Sebastian Hoeneß didn't have the best of times at Hoffenheim, but with their stately rivals, Stuttgart, he is producing something special. Oh, isn't it nice? Oh, isn't it nice? We haven't seen something so nice in so long. Oh, isn't it nice? It is one of the great chants in German football. Savor it. Because the Stuttgart players and the Stuttgart fans will tonight.
And you can see what it means to go to Berlin to play the cup final for everyone in Germany. It is something special. I couldn't do it. I won nearly everything, but never the cup. And I'm still disappointed. It is something special to win the cup in Berlin.
Now, Stuttgart have done it on 3 previous occasions. 1954, 1957 and 1997, when they last won the DFB Pokal against a third-tier side, Energie Cottbus. And there you have the fun facts that come at the end of a game of football. Joachim Löw on that occasion, guiding them to the DFB Pokal title. It was he that then took them to the Cup Winners' Cup final as well, losing to Chelsea, Joachim Löw. And now we can hear from one of the main men on the losing side. Benjamin Šeško is with our sideline reporter, Anna Zara Langer.
Benjamin, first of all, thanks for stepping by, being so close to the final and then not going through to Berlin. Must be a big disappointment. What are your thoughts at the moment?
Yeah, of course, it's really a disappointment for just in general for us, because we played good. We really showed today that we can play amazing. As I said many times before, yeah, we had some chances that maybe we should score. Would be easier for us. But yeah, now we cannot change that. It's a good school for the upcoming games, and yeah, now we have to forget about it as soon as possible and focus on the Liga.
You mentioned the chances you had, especially close to the half-time break. How do you assess the qualities of these chances?
Yeah, I mean, of course they're high, you know. But about it is always the moment, you know. Sometimes you do it, sometimes not. Yeah, today we're just unlucky with us, and yeah, they can't really change it now.
You do have a new coach since 2 days. Of course, you cannot improve everything or change a lot during this short amount of time, but how positive are you that you can now achieve the other big goal, qualifying for the Champions League with short Löw?
Yeah, definitely. We showed already today. I'm not talking about the chances for the goal, but just quality of playing through the middle, outside, the crosses. Yeah, was nice to play today. If you put the chances away, I think we played an amazing game. And yeah, definitely we have a little bit time again now to develop some stuff, and yeah, I'm looking forward for that, definitely.
Thank you so much.
Great to hear there from Benjamin Šeško. At one point he gave Leipzig a lifeline tonight with his 4th goal in the cup, his 6th in 6 DFB Pokal games. But tonight was not to be his night, it was not to be Leipzig's night, but at least he gives the same assessment, Stefan. This was a very positive performance from Leipzig, a big step up from recent matches.
Yeah, and I think you have to be honest, and he is right in that point. A really good performance. He scored a goal, shot on the crossbar to come back again. So overall, a good performance. Came in, didn't play the last game as a team. Lots of power, physically presence, win 1 against 1. And of course, in Stuttgart, you can lose still with a really good performance, but that's the step forward. Have a good performance, and then you have to do the same in the Bundesliga. And please, use a little bit more your goal-scoring opportunities. 10 and only 1 goal. That's not enough.
Now, these are the types of pictures that will last a lifetime. These are the types of smiles that will not be rubbed off these players' faces for weeks to come. Stuttgart, under Sebastian Hoeneß, the good times have returned, and now they're back in the DFB Pokal final for the first time in over a decade. Arminia Bielefeld, the third-tier side, await. It's going to be a cracking final on May 24th. It will not to be missed in Berlin. Sebastian Hoeneß, his dad Dieter, has lifted the DFB Pokal. His uncle Uli has lifted the DFB Pokal. Could he follow in their footsteps and deliver Stuttgart their first cup title since 1997? James Surrogate, your match commentator, Stefan Freund from us. Thanks for joining. It was a wonderful night.
Thanks and good night.